Welcome to the show, Hugo.
Thank you, Max. Now is an opportune time to mention silver for Greece.
I want to get into that, and because this is really an incredible moment in history, everyone is talking about the Greek exit from the euro. You believe there's an opportunity for Greece to introduce a silver-backed currency. It's a five-step plan. I've seen this work already. It's fantastic. Let's walk through it.
Well, it's a very simple plan, and in Mexico it's had a great support from politicians, but unfortunately or fortunately we have not arrived at a hopeless situation, and that is the favorable aspect of the present situation in Greece, that is hopeless, and the situation for Europe is hopeless. And when there is no hope is a moment when a new thought can be introduced, a new thinking can come into the picture, because the leadership of Europe has been going around in circles for months, you know, with meetings one after another, and now we're going to find a solution, and the final solution is coming at the next summit, and time goes by and there's more and more talk and nothing. They're going around in circles because they're talking about a system that is basically flawed. It's a paper money system, that is the euro, and it's now coming to its conclusion, its inevitable conclusion. This had to happen.
Hugo, let me ask you something about one of your fellow billionaires, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. They recently said that gold is uncivilized, and also Bill Gates came out and said gold, its days are past. So they've really been incredible rhetoric in the mainstream in America, talking down gold and silver. Now, as a billionaire yourself, what are they missing? What's going on here?
Well, if they want to see a civilized world, they're losing it, because watch the streets of Montreal, watch the streets of Chicago, watch the Occupy movement, watch Greece, watch the manifestations in Spain. Civilization is breaking down.
Due to this paper money?
Due to paper money, and nobody mentions that. They talk about all sorts of solutions, and we're going to ring fence, and we're going to avoid contagion, but they don't talk about what it is. Bankruptcy is what they're talking about, and that there's no solution to that. The thing is, the world is bankrupt, on the verge of bankruptcy, or already bankrupt, and they're trying to maintain a fiction. And we'll see what life is like when this continues, unless we have the reintroduction of real money. And that is what I have been striving to do, to reintroduce silver into people's lives so that they have something to fall back on.
What I want to talk about, if we can get into it, you know, we don't have
5 steps.
Yeah, it's not. We don't have lots of time to do this, but in other words, you bring it in parallel. In parallel, in a way that it does not go out of circulation. You see, the world had lots of silver and money in circulation up until World War II. But then inflation came in, and all the silver coinage, which had a stamped value on it, well, the silver became worth more as silver than as coinage. To avoid that, we need a new system of coinage where the coin has no monetary value stamped upon it. The value is a quoted value, which will always keep the coin in circulation. If the drachma should devalue, for instance, this coin is worth more drachmas. But what's stamped on the coin is weight.
The weight, yes.
Correct.
The weight, yes.
It has a weight. It has, let's say, 1/2 ounce or 1/4 ounce or 1 ounce.
Now, I have here the full ounce, which I've been proposing for Mexico. This is a very large coin now, because when I started proposing this was $5 an ounce. Now it's $28 an ounce. It's been up as high as $40-something an ounce.
Okay.
So I'm proposing a 3-ounce coin, a small coin, for Athenians with their national. With Athene, the portrait of Athene on one side, and the other side, the owl, the famous owl of the Athenians. And I'm sure if they...
Okay, not a 3-ounce coin, but 1/3 of an ounce.
1/10 of an ounce.
Okay, 1/10 of an ounce. So 1/10 of an ounce is the coin. So it'd be 1/10 the size of this 1 ounce silver coin. 1/10 the
size of this coin.
It has the logo of Athens, if you will, of Greece.
That's right.
It's introduced. Step 1 is to start circulating it parallel to the paper money.
That's right.
Okay, step 2 is...
The step 2 is that if the price of silver rises in drachmas because of a drachma devaluation, then the Treasury or the central bank gives it a higher value.
Right.
A higher value.
And it can do that because it's only the weight is stamped on it.
That's right.
Not a number of value.
No, you're quite right.
Okay, step 3.
Step 3. Now suppose the price of silver falls. The monetary value remains the same, which is something that people have a hard time getting their minds wrapped around this, but it's really, this happened to the U.S. Coinage, the half dollars, the quarters, and the dimes. The price of silver fell for decades. The price of silver was going down until World War II. And yet, that coinage continued to circulate with the face value that was stamped upon it. No problem.
Okay, I think we're at step 4.
All right. Now, step 4 is that the people are going to use these coins for savings. They are going to put them away for their savings, and they're going to use the drachma for everyday work. And the government can continue its program of its social programs with the drachma. Inevitably, they will have fiscal deficits, and the drachma will devalue, but the savings of the people will not be devalued. What they put away in silver will remain their patrimony, and they will be able to use these coins as collateral for credits from the banking system. The money will stay out of the banking system. And I want to emphasize that the banking systems of all the world are against this, because the banking systems can create money out of nothing, whereas they cannot create silver out of nothing.
Okay, finally, step 5.
Well, that's about it.
But then everyone is happy. That's step 5.
Everyone is happy. I think that if Greece should purchase 1,000 tons, they would be able to mint 333 million of these coins. And what is the population of Greece? About 11 million or so? That would mean 30 coins for each and every Greek. I think that a party, a political party or a leader like Alexis Tsipras, if he were to propose this, he would wipe out all opposition. He would gain an astounding majority of support.
Now, Greece does have about 111 tons of gold.
If they sold 20 for 1,000 tons of silver, they would be doing their people a great favor, whereas if the gold stays in the central bank, it's not helping anybody.
And the IMF and these folks are saying that to pay off the debt that they want to sell the Greek gold.
They have to declare default. Forget about that.
Okay,
and send the creditors packing.
Prescription for Greece, even before the silver introduction, number 1, default.
They default, but they have to have this prepared. The person that declares the default must say to the Greek people, in 2 months I will give you silver money. And I promise with my life that you will have silver money for your savings. And all of Europe will take notice, because it changes the game. And this is what the bankers do not want to hear.
Now, Hugo, there is something of, I guess you could call it a first mover advantage. Right now, there are a lot of countries kind of playing with the idea of going to a precious metal-backed currency, and the first country that does will have the first currency in the world that's backed by something tangible, and the idea is that a lot of money will flow into that country, and that it'll force other countries to kind of also go to a precious metal-backed currency, and it's a bit of a game theory exercise, isn't it? Now, if Greece becomes the first country, not say Mexico, you've been lobbying in Mexico for this for years, let's say Greece does adopt this program, as a first mover toward adopting a silver-backed currency, that currency suddenly would be extraordinarily strong versus other currencies.
It would be. Not because we have, for instance, the peso, and we'd have the silver coin quoted in pesos. The peso itself would not necessarily be stronger, but by the relationship of the fact that the country does have a silver currency in circulation, the prestige that attaches to silver will also attach to the Mexican peso and will make it stronger.
All right, let's talk about practicality on the ground in Greece. If I'm in Greece and I'm watching this, I'm a Greek citizen, and I'm like, that Hugo character, he is one smart cookie. I think he's got a good idea. how best to mobilize to lobby the government to adopt this strategy? What would be the best way? I mean, they've got social networking, we've got protests, we've got political. How can they mobilize to get this going, in your opinion?
I think Alexis Tsipras, the first thing he has to do is gather his party, close party associates, and say, we have to do this. And they get out the word, and the word will spread like wildfire.
So you have contacts down there with Alexei, correct?
No, but I would like to. I've traveled to Greece. If my presence were desired, I would gladly go to talk about this.
Would it help if Stacey and I went down there with you to talk to the folks?
It would help enormously. And now, if Tsipras does not win this coming election, because you know all the powers that be are mobilizing to change public opinion over to the side of the conservatives who want to chain down the people to this terrible austerity and to continue taking on additional bailout loans, which only increases their debt more and more and more. It's crazy.
I'm all for it. Let me ask you something. Do you have your own jet?
Yes, I do.
Let's do it. That's all I need. That's all I needed to hear. Stacey, we're going down to Athens with Hugo. We're going to get this revolution in full gear. Anyone with a jet, I'm there. Hugo, Salinas-Price, we're out of time. Thanks so much for being on the Keiser Report.
Thanks a lot for this help, Max.